Hi everyone, at the start of this year I did a video talking about how I'm not putting money into my mortgage anymore, or not putting additional money into my mortgage, and I'm going to start using it or investing it in separate things. So the first one was like a Zopa loans, so this is UK based, where it's like peer-to-peer lending. And then the other one which I set up was the funding circle. And I pretty much took all my money out of Zopa because it wasn't really doing anything. It wasn't that interesting. It's more something if you can put it away and not think about it. However, I like to pay attention to my money. So I moved it, started using Funding Circle a lot more. And I've had some fairly good returns. I have had some losses in it. So I'll go over that in a minute. But this is more to let you know, anybody that's thinking of doing it, the way it's going to work is changing as of September the 18th. So I'll show you how it works just now and what's going to happen in the near future. So at the moment, I've got around about £4,000 put into the Funding Circle account, and from there I've been choosing which companies. So let's say your company, you need £100,000, you would apply for a loan here. They would check your credit score, whether it's you would guarantee the loan, whether you've got any assets secured or anything like that, and they would give them a interest rate, which we would receive the interest from. And you would have a banding of A+, which is usually like big construction companies, A, B, C, D, all the way down to E. E usually being around about this 18, 19, 20% interest going on there. So I've had good fun looking at the companies which you can invest in and spreading my portfolio. In fact, if we have a little look here, this is my portfolio. I'm lending to 219 businesses with a total of 221 separate loans. They're all about £20 at a time, and that's the kind of minimum loan that you can do, or minimum size of addition that you can add to a loan. So it's £20 pretty much on all the different companies, and it's been quite fun. So if you were wanting to start this, you could sign up and you can just go into like loan requests, and you can see here all these different companies that are looking for anywhere from 300,000, 200,000, 80. There's a B automotive, so that might be a car garage needing 31,000. Maybe they need new staff member, tax payments, all that kind of stuff. And you can pay like £20 into that loan and be part of the 200 or 1,000 people that are donating to that loan. So it's crowdfunding effectively, but we get interest back. And I've done very well with it. I've sold lots of loans that I've had and bought ones off the secondary market. So let's say you have £1,000 worth of £20 loans that you've developed, and then you kind of go, oh no, I'm going on holiday, I need the money. You can sell all those loans that you've got. You get the interest which you've accrued during that time, and you can sell those loans, and then you put that money into your bank account. My current the way I've done it so far, my current amount of interest that I've made is, or my yield, I should say, this is after bad debt, after fees, and after tax, is 14.2%. That's pretty darn good. I'm very happy with that. So when did I start? I started this in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So that, 7 months going on there. And my earnings have been nearly £420. However, that's not exactly what I'm getting. So what I'm actually getting is, there's been some losses. I've lost about £80, £83 of bad debt. So certain loans that have the companies that you've lent to, they've either gone bankrupt, they've gone into liquidation, they've failed to repay their loans, they've just disappeared. But at the same time, I have had a couple of recoveries, not a huge amount, where obviously if a loan was guaranteed, they can send somebody out to go get some form of money back from the loans, and it may be a case of like going into the company's old offices and taking all their computers and selling their computers and getting recoveries from that. So that takes a lot longer for anything to really happen. But yet, my net earnings this year, so far in 7 months, has been £283. So I'm pretty happy with that. Even though I've lost 80. That's maybe about 4 loans, maybe 5 loans that have gone into bad debt, and potentially there'll be more. Fees also. So there's let's see if it will show you here my earnings. So I've made £90 from all the loans that I've sold, and I've spent £8 on buying new loans, and I've made a £50. One of the people that I said, if you send me your email, I can do a refer a friend. I've sent them the link. It's gone into their email. They've invested I think the minimum is £2,000 for them to get up to the £50 kind of benefit here, and so we both got £50. So if you want £50 for free and you've got £2,000, send me a link. Send me your email. Drop it in the comment section or send me a message, and I can click here and do refer a friend and send you the link, and we can both get £50 from that. So that's all been going good, and yeah, 14%. So I'm doing pretty well, pretty happy with that. However, as of September, it's changing. So this is a big change, and they're effectively making it more simple, but with that, it's going to be losing a lot of its interestingness for me. So the reason why I stopped doing Zopa, or reduced my Zopa amount down to like £100, was just because it was boring. I wasn't doing anything. Here, I could be on this every day, checking out new loan requests. Like, oh, what's the new loan request? Where are these companies? And I can choose which companies it goes to. I can even choose like the filters. I can choose which ones are based in Scotland, or that maybe I only want to donate to loans in Wales. Let's see if there's any in Wales. Yes, there's one there. Brilliant. I'll put my £20 there, kind of stuff. So yeah, you have a bit more control and fun. It's just the way I kind of found it. What they're doing now is they're going to be changing it so it's just all auto bid. So this is how it's going to be from here on in. I don't want to do that because that's just going to be really boring. But it's going to be automatically done in a wee while. So if we click here, this tells us exactly what's happening. So I think the idea is also because a lot of people weren't able to find the higher band loans, like the C's, D's, and E's, which people wanted the higher rates for it, because you kind of have to be on it all the time to be paying attention. Because a lot of time the D's and E loans would go on and they'd be gone within 10 minutes. So if you're not on your iPad or in front of your computer every 10 minutes, you could be missing out on the high interest loans all the time. So they're doing it so it's just all automatic. And you can either have a balanced or conservative options here. So balanced is, where is it? Balanced is going to be from A to E, spreading across, and it's saying you can get, they're hoping to estimate 7.5%. Or the conservative option is they will only be lending your money to A plus and A companies. So that's pretty much your big construction companies going on there. But your return rate is going to be around about 4.8%. So generally for me, that's still monumental returns compared to leaving my money in a bank. I think my bank, even in an ISA, my interest rate was 0.05%. So not 5%, not 0.5%, but 0.5 of nothing, effectively. And after a whole year of having £5,000 in, I would have made £5 kind of stuff. So the fact that my current rate, I've made £200, I'm like, even if I sold all my loans just now and I closed my account, I've definitely been far more financially beneficial by putting my money in here than leaving it in a bank or even in an ISA at the moment in the UK in 2017. But yeah, so they're still saying, yeah, there's the opportunity of about 7.5% interest rate, where you don't really have to do anything and it's going to really do everything for you. And then what it's also going to do is, if you then need to sell your loans, let's see if it's, yeah, they're going to make it easier for investors, and the selling process is all going to be auto sell, and it's just going to be automated. So for me, I'm just like, boring. So I don't know if I'm going to leave all my money in there, not because I don't think 7.5% rate is not a good rate. I think that's a great rate, especially if it's like secured. but for me, it's just a bit dull. So I might take a couple £1,000 out, might take maybe £3,000 out, and I'm going to invest that more into another possibly more dangerous, an actually dangerous investing thing, which is the stock market. There's a couple of different companies that you can use, but I'm using a Hargreaves Lansdown, where I can effectively choose. I can play in the stock market. I can put money on stocks and shares, and if you want, I'll show you that. I'll show you the other thing that I'm using. So here on my Hargreaves Lansdown, I've got an ISA. So this is an ISA where I can invest in funds, mutual funds, or I can invest directly into the stock market, which is fun, and it's tax free because it's all part of an ISA. Up to, I think it's about £15,000. This is fun. This is get me involved in society and listening to the news, because it's like, oh wow, what was it? Provident Financial has plummeted. So I've lost pretty much everything on that already. I just dipped my toe in with that one. I put £100 in, which only bought me 4 shares of Provident Financial because they were £25 a share for that, and they were at about £25. They're now down to £6. They just went through the floor. So pretty much lost all my money going on there. But I've got some money in the funds. Accumulation funds and income funds going on there, which some of them are panning, but they're up and down. There's also dividends that we're getting as well. So even if the actual share price is going down, there's some good dividends coming in from some of the companies as well. But it's a more longer term situation. So yeah, if you're wanting to be involved with where your money goes and play in the stock market and all that kind of stuff, Hargreaves Lansdown is a site which I've been using, which has been quite interesting, I would say. So just to warn you all, if any of you are already on Funding Circle and you're like, there's a thing that keeps coming up telling me something's changing, and you ignore it, like what I've been doing for the last week, just be aware that it's going to be going into this auto setting, and it's not going to be quite as much fun going on there. I am meant to be having a call with the people from Funding Circle. They are meant to be giving me a call for my feedback, which is effectively what I just gave there. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a bit boring. Yeah, maybe better, maybe more simple, maybe fairer. But for me, that's more boring, and I have less control over where my cash is going. And I've been enjoying it for the last 6 months, 7 months. Effectively playing the dragon's den. I'm like the dragon. I have £20 to give to a company. Which one has the best financials? Let's see your numbers. Blah blah blah. I think just going this auto, it will be fairer, will be simpler, but for me, maybe a bit more boring. So there won't be any kind of like interesting updates going on here. But yeah, generally, at the moment, I'm like 14% return. And again, if you want to make £50, you've got £2,000 in savings, send me your email, and I'll drop you the link that comes directly from Funding Circle to get that like welcome, thank you thing. So there you go, that's what's happening with Funding Circle. Cheers, bye bye.